Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 49-year-old Colorado resident Jonathan Grace headed to the Capitol after Donald Trump's speech ended, and he made his way to the Lower West Terrace where he was watching as others were breaking a Capitol window, and then he moved over to the Lower West Terrace tunnel where you guys know all the horrific violence took place. Almost immediately after entering the tunnel, Grace joined in with that heave-ho push where everybody was collectively pushing and rocking back and forth against the police. And he moved deeper into the tunnel. He continued to push along with the rest of the mob for some time. And eventually the officers were able to gain some ground. So Grace and the others were forced back a bit. And Grace exited the tunnel for a while. And then he was seen taking off his hat and his backpack. They think he handed all of that stuff to his wife because they recognized her or identified her as being there. He then headed back into the tunnel. He maneuvered his way to the front of the police line again, and he joined in again in pushing against the officers. So after a very prolonged fight for ground in that tunnel, the police were able to push the mob back. They pushed them all the way to the mouth of the tunnel. The violence continued, though, and Grace was still outside the tunnel when members of the mob dragged Officer Fanone out from the tunnel, and they started to assault him. So you guys, of course, know all about that. He was tasered several times. He suffered a heart attack as a result. So Grace was seen in photos just a couple people away, like literally 2 or 3 people away from Fanone when this was all going down, while they were attacking him, violently, assaulting him. And Grace is standing there smiling as Fanone, literally in this photo, Fanone is screaming out in pain, in fear, and Grace is standing by watching, and he's smiling. So a short time later, Grace was seen back at the entrance of the tunnel, and he was again pushing against the police, and he held onto the tunnel archway. He was trying to maintain his position as the police were pushing back. And then at one point, he was seen on video, he turned around and he started pushing against the police with his back. Finally, after the police sprayed him and the others with some chemicals, he moved away from the tunnel. So at that point, Grace had spent about an hour pushing against the police and battling with them in the tunnel. So Grace was arrested on March 30th of 2023, and he was indicted on charges of civil disorder, assaulting officers, entering a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct on restricted grounds, impeding passage on Capitol grounds, and 2 counts of physical violence. In October of 2023, Grace pleaded guilty to assaulting officers, so he was looking at up to 8 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. Unfortunately, Grace's sentencing memo isn't available yet, at least not for the general public, so I'm not sure what the prosecutor was requesting, but U.S. District Judge Reggie Walton presided over Grace's case, and when all was said and done, Grace was sentenced to 2 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $5,000 in fines, also a $2,000 restitution fee. So not enough in my opinion, and I'm actually surprised that Judge Walton didn't give him more time. He's a tough judge, but without knowing what the prosecutor was asking, I don't know if he went below what they asked, if he gave them what they asked. It could be all on them. It could be just the fact that, they didn't ask for much at all. I don't think this guy has been locked up during this time. So I think he will just now be starting his prison term and then, of course, probation. So again, won't be around, won't be out and running around during the next election. So that's good. All right, I will let you all know when and if I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.